Great, thank you. Yes, you can hear me. I can hear myself as well. Ladies and gentlemen, dear guests, hello, welcome to Bratislava. Allow me to welcome you all to our panel discussion on smart logistics. As said, my name is Marek Kopanický. I work as a consultant and innovation services lead at the Slovak Investment and Trade Development Agency and will be a moderator of this panel. Slovak Investment and Trade Development Agency, just very briefly, is a governmental agency and its mission is mainly to attract high added value investments to Slovakia and to contribute to the regional development of this country. Within its innovation agenda, we aim to interconnect Slovak technology companies mostly, but not only from Industry 4.0 with big industrial players in Slovakia, but also abroad. And I am very glad that I can welcome here on the stage representatives of three very technological and also competitive companies. And that's a brief intro from my side. Now let's come to them, to my distinguished panelists, and also to the topic of this panel. Needless to say, at this forum, logistics as such deals with the movement of products or goods from one point to another. However, smart logistics goes a few steps further. Its aim is not only to ensure the relocation of goods, but also to streamline and to interconnect the overall relocation process of goods and products efficiently, and utilizing modern technologies and make this process, make the logistics truly smart. I'm not going further in my own ideas and the definitions, because I'm pretty sure that all these terms such as smart, digital, autonomous, automated, virtual, and many others are going to be very frequent during following 70 minutes as my guests and their companies work with these technologies and in this environment every day and for several years. So I'm delighted that following three gentlemen accepted our invitation of the organizers and mine own, and I can now introduce them to you one after another. There is Mr. Andrej Štefánik from Asseco CEIT. Welcome. Then the second speaker, Martin Mrva from Photoneo.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
And last but not least, Michal Ukropec from company Infotech or Twinzo.
Hello everyone.
Great. I firmly believe that well-prepared content of this session will be beneficial for you who are following us either here physically or virtually, and please do not forget and hesitate to ask also questions via Slido app. It can surely enrich our discussion, and I will try to ask continuously as many questions from Slido as possible. If possible, also please write to whom you address your question, or whether the question is directed towards all of the panelists. Now let's finally begin with the first introductory round. For my panelists, I will start in alphabetical order, let's say with Asseco CEIT. Andrej, in my understanding, it's one of the most recognizable brands and companies when it comes to smart manufacturing, smart industry, but also smart logistics and Industry 4.0 as such. And not only in Slovakia, but also in the whole Central European region. You have your own booth or your stand here. Its story of CEIT started already in 1990s. You came up quite early or so with your own autonomous guided vehicle for internal logistics already in 2009, and then in 2018 CEIT won the whole European Automotive Logistics Award. So your presence here is really well deserved. Could you please describe a little bit more a journey of the company between these milestones and explain why you have been so successful on the Slovak but also on the foreign markets? I think that we can also see the video of your company behind us.
Thank you, Marek. Yeah, that's true. Asseco CEIT was established in 1998. At that time, the main scope was to support our industrial companies with some new methods, new techniques, and to help them to improve productivity, mainly through some consultancy, and to design new, improved production and logistic processes and systems, and to optimize it. In 2006, because the customers still would like to not have just only consultancy and say, okay, it should be better if you change in this way, but they ask, okay, are you able to integrate this technology in our company? Are you able to bring your technology to our company? So we established our division of technical innovation, and we start with modern technology, right, like rapid prototyping and the difficult automation of productions and so on. And one way was also mobile platforms. And the first milestones where we started with AGVs was in 2009 when the head of the development of logistic planning from Volkswagen was coming to CEIT for a visit, and we were discussing about how to use our software, CEIT table, for the designing new logistic systems, new logistic processes. And during the visit, we show him also this robotic platform, and he look at it and say, okay, we would like to go into AGVs. Are you able to bring us this technology to Volkswagen Bratislava? It will be very nice if you can bring the prototype in 3 months. And yes, we said, okay, we will discuss about it, and really, at the end of the summer of 2009, we implemented 70 AGVs in Volkswagen in assembly hall. At that time, it was quite easy implementation because it was really bringing the material from one place to another place. But this was the starting point, and from this time, we go to the more complicated and more complex solutions in logistics. And the second milestones came in 2015 when Volkswagen decided to build a new body shop in Bratislava. And the idea was that this body shop will be really full automatized. It means at least at the level of 90%. They said, okay, we would like to have all automatized production, but also the logistic. This was really something new, something what was not and is still not in another body shops, that the production is really communicate with logistic without any manual manipulation on control or management, is communicating with all the robot cells and all the working process, stocks and so on. So we have to think how to do it to be really at this level of fully automated logistic. And it was for us something what was necessary to really improve our control and managing and monitoring system to the highest level, as high as it possible. So it was really not so easy, but at the end we have really new control and monitor system with such functionality that we know which AGV at this time has on the third wagon which kind of material, where is going, with safety instruction communicate with robot cell, say, okay, I am here with this material, please open the door, I will take the full pallet and bring you empty pallets and so on. And this means that it was a really big step for us and big step for automated logistics, and this really opened the door to another customers in the, not only in the Slovakia, but also in the Europe. So according to this very successful case, we have a new possibility to go to Audi Germany, to Volkswagen Poland, to Auto Europa in Portugal, in Velux in Denmark, in GLR, and so on. So this was really for us something what bring us also these awards from Germany about material handling and transportation of material.
Great, great, thank you. I have one additional question towards this, because I I saw your AGVs in person at Volkswagen plant here in Bratislava. You mentioned that you started with 70, if I'm not mistaken.
17.
17. But now, can you disclose the number of your AGVs in Volkswagen Bratislava, for example, in this plant here?
Yeah.
Currently, it's more than 100, right?
It's 350 pieces.
Okay, more than 300.
So really, we are able with this control system manage really complex fleet of AGVs. So not only 10 or 20, but 100, and really do it very intelligent and really use
Smart.
the efficiency and smart.
And smart. That's the crucial word for this panel. Thank you very much. Let's move to our second guest. Martin Photoneo is a high-tech and fast-growing startup. We can still call it this way based on robotics, artificial intelligence technologies, which, however, starting with several 3D scanners, let's say your bin pickers and your own AGVs as well, if I'm not mistaken. But now, as far as I know, your product portfolio, you provide your clients with very end-to-end, very complex and fully automated fulfillment solution. So again, now it's place for you to present the video and also to describe your own journey in Photoneo and how significantly the company has changed during the last few years when it comes to its size, technology progress, or even complexity of your solution.
Yeah, so thank you. Yeah, this is basically the end product that you see on the video. So I will need to start at the beginning, so how we got there. You see that we also have AGVs like Andrej mentioned, and now what hassle it is to develop an AGV, to create the software that is able to guide it. But basically we were stupid enough to do that, not successful enough to sell it on its own, so we decided that they will bundle it in a complete e-commerce fulfillment solution that could be used either in e-commerce or grocery or any picking that is done in units, not pallets, because the main difference right now, I would say, between our solutions would be that CEIT is more dealing with the bigger loads, bigger pallets, and we are dealing with the single SKUs. And as I see, this is the ultimate solution for the single orders, basically handling. So how it started? It was 2013, so we are much younger than CEIT here. And guys, our founders are from Slovakia, and they decided that they probably know how to create the best 3D scanner in the world. How did it look? At the start, it was a carton box. And they decided that, yes, we are going to fundraise on this carton box, and actually it was success. So they were able to raise money, and it was mainly used to create our own CMOS sensor, which is not very common. I think in the Middle Europe, we are one of the very few companies doing that. You can imagine the biggest competitors is Sony for this, but we are using it only in our own technology, so in our own scanning devices. These scanning devices, those are the black boxes above the bins, and that was the start. That was from 2013 to 2016, that was the start. So creating so-called robotic eye. So robot needs to see the world. So this was the start. Then we decided to give robots a brain. So we programmed our software to be able to interact with our scanner and picking arms, so the robotic arms that you can find, for example, in Volkswagen. And to do the simple application, called simple, but it's very complex, bin picking. So instead of the humans doing the heavy lifting from the box and putting it on a conveyor, we decided that AGVs from CEIT could maybe bring us the box, and we could do the picking, basically the scanning and the picking. So that was the second phase. Then, like I said, maybe out of sheer stupidity and ambition, we decided that, okay, we will also create our own AGV. And it was a great help from the guys from Technical University of Košice, because they were somewhere in the process, so we decided to basically take them into the company, and they developed AGV, very similar to one that Andrej presented, but a bit smaller, let's say. All safety certification, being able to work with the humans, etc. But like I said, okay, we were just too too busy selling the scanners, because right now I think we have sold more than 3,500 scanners around the world, and it's quite a pricey device. It's not like let's say something real sense or something like that. The quality is multiple times higher. I would say 10 to 50 times better. So it's not an easy task, and we understood that we are not capable of selling this AGV. So another crazy idea, we decided to bundle all this, and you saw the video. So we are going to offer this as a service to our customers, and what it means is that we are going to offer a full order picking solution, fully automated warehouse, basically for order picking for the e-commerce, using our AGVs to bring the boxes, using our scanners to scan the box. Basically, we don't know what is coming. We are able to identify using the AI technology together with the point cloud from the scanner. We are able to identify the items. We are able to navigate the robotic arm to do the pick, and then also consolidate these orders between themselves to really do the fulfillment from start to an end. And this is basically where we are. We know we need to focus better, so we have decided to split the company into 3 divisions. One is still handling the scanners and the motion cam, that is scanning the items in the motion. One is handling this robotic brain, so basically working in the same industry as here with CEIT, so automotive production, etc. And the third one is dealing with the logistics. And that would be a nice go with here with Michal, that yes, there we need to simulate all the processes, etc. And we are somehow interconnected in this discussion. So I will get maybe more in depth later, but this is it. So we are providing end-to-end, fully automated fulfillment service to our customers.
Great. Thank you again also for your contribution, and I believe that some of your customers might be here, or some of your future customers potentially might be here, and you will stay here at least for a few minutes after the panel. So please feel free to contact Martin if this solution was somehow beneficial, or might be somehow beneficial and interesting and attractive for you. Now, thank you also for the connection to Michal, who is our last but again not the least speaker. Michal is CEO of Infotech, but now here also on the badge you can read Twinzo, what is kind of a spin-off of Infotech. It's a quite new brand, but you personally you are active for long years in this business of logistics optimization and digital twins, real-time tracking solutions, etc. We can already see also the video and your solution over here, and I'm pretty sure that you will explain and describe to us all what is happening right there, and what is really cutting edge on your technology. We spoke already with Andrej and with Martin with their solutions, which in my honest understanding are, let's say, more hardware, right? But in your perspective, you are still dealing and taking care more or smart logistics from the software element or software perspective, digitalization, visualizations, analytics, reporting, apps, etc., etc. So please tell us, and also to our spectators here, or for those who are following us online, more about Twinzos or your own digital twin definition or approach. And if possible, you can put the video there once again, and I'm pretty sure that Michal will comment it. If possible, thank you.
Thank you very much, Marek. I started Infotech. Can you hear me? Okay. 22 years ago, so I am the IT guy here, even if I studied taxes and accounting, so I understand also a little bit money. It's very important in manufacturing business because ROI is the most important topic for the decision guy. So, we produce software for more than 20 years, but a few years ago, it was in 2014, then came a crazy idea, I want to track something, someone. Now, if we talk about 5G and all the stuff, it might be taken as a quite common, but 7 years ago it wasn't. So, the question was on the table, how can we track someone, something? We began to check it and came to the RTLS, or real-time location system topic, and we developed some hardware, some software, but the main topic was, sorry for that, I'm not going to check my messages, I want to see it on the phone. Okay, so that was the crucial thing, because you can forget your keys, you can forget your child in the car, but do you forget your phone? For sure not. So imagine that you are a plant manager, or let's say EMEA leader in the central team, and you want to know what's going on in your plant. And you have more plants in your competence, so that's why you can see the 3D model, that's why you have seen at the beginning the Earth, because when you have global customers, they have hundreds of plants, they want to see what's going on in these plants. That's exactly that. So, you can see that the logistics data, the production data, environmental data, what's the condition of machines, is the production running or not, what is the OEE, and so on. I want to see spaghetti charts. So if you think about that, and also AI is going to be a big topic, because we can use the digital twin in our definition 3D live digital twin, so not just a simulation, not just a model, not just a 3D scan or something like that, but live 3D, online, mobile. I want to see what's going on. I get the notification when something happened, what shouldn't happen, and I can begin to manage. Because even if you buy Porsche Cayenne for 150,000 euros produced here in Bratislava, Andrej, in what information system is scanned this Porsche Cayenne Turbo? MES, Microsoft Excel solution. Okay? They have no real-time data, they have no idea what's going on.
Thank you, and that's exactly what you were describing. I like the word technologically agnostic, right? You have it there in the subtitles, that this is something what you were trying to show and to demonstrate, that you are really agnostic in this matter. And I have another question also for you, but I want to make it in these kind of thematic rounds, so that's why I will come back also again to Andrej once again, because we have already touched upon your AGVs as something what is, let's say, main in your portfolio, but maybe then we can discuss also other products and other solutions, but this one is maybe, let's say, flagship product or technology in your portfolio. As far as I know, you have already a fleet of these AGVs, 4 or 5 types of them, or models, let's call them this way. Could you please elaborate on their main differences or advantages? Who is your competitor abroad, let's say, whether we can know these brands or not, and what are the advantages and differences of your own solutions in different environments or in different settings? And then I have another question also towards that.
Thank you. May I ask once more the video also? Because in this video is showing the whole fleet of our AGVs. When we look at the intra-logistic processes, these processes are really different. And if you would like to have efficient logistic, you have to be able to control and manage all the processes, all the manual logistic, automated logistic, and use those type of AGVs, which is really the best for this process. So in our portfolio, we have towing version of the AGV, which is very good when you have to move a very huge material and frequently material for longer distances. Then we have underrun version of AGVs, which are very flexible. So it's good for shorter distances and be more flexible, come to the right position and put the material there. And also, last 2 years, we put a lot of effort to development a new forklift AGVs, because many industrial companies need to transport or manipulate with pallets, and there is this forklift AGVs, the best for this reason. But many times you have the processes where you cannot use the standard portfolio of AGVs. And at that time, it's necessary to be able to really customize or reconfigurable the AGV to the customized one that is really appropriate for this process. So we are able really to, because all the development is in CEIT, and also the production is, and also integration in the companies, we are able to really customize this AGV. But not only AGV, because behind the AGV are many peripherals and arms and everything, manipulations different, what should be done. So all this can be provided to our customers. And the heart of all this is really this monitor and control system. So we have the software department, there is really focusing only to go and improve all the time this control system to be able really make under the control all the automated logistic, but also to communicate with production system, with all the system external, which is in production hall or in warehouses, like lifts, traffic lights, or everything else. So we have to be able really to give the right task to our AGV if stop at this moment, or to go to another position and wait, and so on. So really this control system is one of the important things.
Yeah, I can imagine that also this is the attribute which also your clients praise the most on your AGVs, and regarding these topics such as safety, let's say, or navigation of them. I will definitely have these questions for all of you, because this is very important and something what is still moving forward in this area of smart logistics. By my other question would be, you already mentioned several clients or references from automotive. I know that you have some other segments such as electronics industry, for example, or mechanical engineering. I can imagine. However, here I can see, and we can see also companies or entities from different part of the story or different stage of the supply chain, right? There are ports, there are airports, and also other freight forwarders, etc. Is it possible, or can you imagine somehow that some of your AGVs or your other products might be beneficial also to them, or is this a direction where CEIT wants to go, or not really?
Yeah, we would like. Yes. Okay. Yes, we would like to go really also not only in industry, but we would like to go in other industries, also in public, for example, healthcare or another areas where the AGVs is also useful and can support all the processes which are not main processes for healthcare, for hospitals, for example, but is necessary to be done and to be do also in the level of effectivity. And we see in the last few years that the biggest problem is with employees today. And many hospitals, but also companies are looking for automation because they don't have human resources to cover these processes. And many times these processes are really not so intelligent, but should be done at the right time, at the right consequences, and so on. And this is really good things for automation.
Indeed, and this is really interesting topic. I'm not going to spend much time on that, but really, I mean, human resources are going to be a huge topic at each conference, whether it's about export, whether it's about freight, the logistics, whatever. I mean, human resources are a great topic. And also, Michal, you today in the afternoon you are in another panel speaking about human resources. So warm welcome also there for another panel discussion in the afternoon at a different stage. Now the second question for Martin and for Photoneo. And you mentioned already that, and I'm proud to say that Photoneo is truly originally Slovak company, that your owners are Slovaks, you have your offices here, and also development. I visited this place, so you have it also here in Bratislava, but at the same time you have your sales representatives and clients all around the globe. I met also your sales representatives from China or from Germany. So can you maybe name some of the most difficult or competitive markets where Photoneo already placed and sold their products, and even, if possible, disclose also names of some your most bright references or companies to whom you sold the solution?
Yeah, thank you. So again, we have to look, to answer this question, we have to look at Photoneo in a divisional way. So if we look at the scanners department, then we are mainly active worldwide, basically, excluding maybe Africa and South America. We have office in the US, in Kentucky, and we have office in the China. In other parts, mainly in Central Europe, we use our own salespeople. And in other regions, like, for example, Japan is a good example, where we use a local distributor. And if we look at this, so selling the scanners, the part that is, so far the biggest for us, the most competitive market, definitely China. Mm-hmm. And it happened from very suddenly, because we won the biggest 3D scanner deal 3 years ago in China. And it was very surprising for the local companies that some company from Slovakia was able to beat them in their own ground. And from that point, we started to feel a very, very big pressure, because they are sometimes they are going to do the deals only to beat Photoneo, because we are external company. So I would say the competition probably is biggest in the China, but it's also given because they are outpacing the rest of the world. I would say also in development, in the speed of the development that they can do. So this is it. Even though we are still, the quality is higher for us, but it's very complicated to compete price-wise in China. But it's good that we are still successful. And maybe the advice, if everyone would go to China, from me to the audience, is to find a good person that is ideally from Slovakia or is from our culture and knows a culture in China as well, because these cultural clashes, they are super big. Doing deals with Chinese people, it's completely different than in the rest of the world, I'd say. And this deal, basically, I cannot disclose the customer, but it was for the picking of the disc brakes. So the same story as in Volkswagen. So this was it. And if we look at the logistics, at the division that I represent also, so this fully automated e-commerce solution, for us, because we don't have so many references, I'm proud to say that 2 projects are starting this week. One will be the SOX, Dedoles. So it will be a big automation project. I wanted to say the biggest in Slovakia, but not as big, but it will be more than 50 our robots there. So it will be quite huge and scaling. So I want to say that Dedoles is very progressive in their thinking about the automation. And the second project that we are launching this week is Idilia, the grocery. So we will do the full automated picking of grocery there. So, but if you look at these customers, even though we are very proud to have them, it's very difficult to compete with the companies with 40 years experience or 40 years history. When you go to Germany and you try to persuade the local player that you are 3 times more efficient than their legacy supplier, they will say, okay, but I don't trust you so much, and you have to. These are the obstacles. So for the logistic department, every market, even Czech Republic, is exotic for us in the terms of that we are starting to operate in this sector, and it's, even though we know we have probably the best solution in the world, the most effective, it's still very tough to persuade anyone. And maybe I can disclose that yes, we were successful using consultants this was the best way how to enter this market. So we decided to employ a consultant from a bigger company, ex-employee, and suddenly just saying that I worked for this company, and now I'm working for this company, Photoneo, and I think that their solution is good, but you honestly have to believe that, is opening the doors. And yes, we are talking to probably the biggest companies in the world, mainly in the grocery business. So I cannot disclose the names, but hopefully 2022 will be really big for us, and also doing some nice business, especially in the US. And if you look at the customers that we work previously, probably all the automotive players, Toyota, Volkswagen, Škoda, this is in our portfolio. From material handling, maybe IKEA is a good example. So yeah, I am looking for the bright future also for the logistics, where we are really pushing right now.
That's amazing, and thank you for this answer, because really, I mean, the solution is universal, and you are also going to be a universal company, but originally still from Slovakia. However, it's difficult, and makes it difficult to persuade the clients and persuade to other side that doesn't matter that we are not from Germany and we are not having 40 years of experience, but we are still cutting edge and unique globally. And I think that this is a very close topic also to Michal, as far as I know, his ideas and opinions in this matter. Because, but now I just want to put another question, maybe more similar to question for Andrej regarding the, let's say, the scope or the destination of your solution. I will explain it, because before the first question I mentioned that you are more the software guy and IT guy. Yes, and your company is also going further when it comes to the placement of its solution, because we saw here again plants, smart factory, some office spaces as well. That's significant. However, you want to go really outside the production plants and the warehouses and the buildings as such, if I'm not mistaken. So we can speak also about facility management, but also, do you plan to digitalize also trucks or vans or ships even, or ports and airports? Is this something where you are also heading to?
Thank you, Marek. So I have on the badge the CEO, but the E in my case is not executive, because I don't care about the executive topics, but evangelist officer. So to understand a little bit better what we do, please take your phone now, go to the App Store and seek Twinzo Digital Twin. And when you will have it, you will understand the concept. So, because here we are talking about the logistics, okay? My colleagues here talk mainly about the internal logistics, at least for now. But when we talk about the logistics, where does it start? On the ship. So I'm now ignoring the production. So with the ship, something comes from China, India, Bangladesh, whatever. It comes to Middle East somewhere, or Amsterdam. They take it, put it on the truck or train or something, airplane. They bring it here. Paqueta takes it, and in the end you get the package. So you need to track internal logistics, you need to track ships, you need to track trains, trucks, whatever it is, because, believe or not, they have no idea what's going on. Okay? So when you come to a big plant and you ask them, okay, could you provide us, please, a list of your fleet, forklift staggers, something? Give me a second. And the second takes 2 weeks to get just the list. Okay? And when you ask them, okay, guys, what processes are doing this forklifts? We have no idea. It works somehow, but when you ask about details, they don't know. And the same thing is not just with internal logistics, but in hospitals, in offices, everywhere. So our solution is used by European biggest office developer, because they want to know how we as people behave in the office. Because what time will come accounting ladies into the office? At 9? At 6. Why? Because they need at least 3 hours of silence. Okay? It's that easy. And when do you start the heating? At 8? So at 9, you have nice warm temperature. So these women are sitting in cold office because nobody knows that they are there. So this is the same topic everywhere. Offices, hospitals, ports, airports, plants. So that's why when you download the app, you will see there a lot of use cases how a digital twin can be used. Because it's not just about the logistics. The topic is you need to know what is the production doing, what is the environment doing, what the logistics is doing, and then you see all the stuff in context. Because our typical customer has dozens of information systems. They have the data from every single one. Okay, cool. But when you want to compare it, what do you have to use? Again, MES, Microsoft Excel solution. And it's awkward in 2021.
Yeah. I'm happy to say that also several of these great references you have in the Slovak factories, you also penetrated some other interesting markets abroad, and my question is also, let's say, more geographical, because now we spoke about different segments or sectors of the economy, of the whole supply chain, but now can you please maybe name some of the most competitive markets in your case? I know that now you are expecting the message from one country in an Arab Peninsula, right? Then where did you place your solutions, and again, even praise yourself by names of some clients, if possible. You already mentioned this largest European developer and many others. So if possible, just tell us more about this, about geographical positioning of your products, and then also the names of the clients, because it resonates, I think, in the audience.
Thank you. I didn't come to make the marketing, but when you want, okay. So, Whirlpool, Plastic Omnium, the biggest bumper producer all around the world, Mondelez, HB Reavis, okay, not a production company, but HB Reavis, and similar companies. But the funny thing is that Europe want to see itself as a very creative environment, an innovative environment, but what's the most important or most innovative land all around us? China. There is no question, okay? China. They are not that stupid how we want to see them, okay? We are the dumb guys. Why? Because we are shooting ourselves in our feet. Why? Because we are risk averse. They are not, but we are, especially Germany and Belgium. And where do we have European Parliament? So that's why we don't see our biggest future here in Europe, but in China. So Twinzo, digital intelligent technology Liaoning Limited Company is already established. Sorry, but they have very long names in China. And hopefully we will do there some business, because also they are lack of people. Imagine that. Because in Slovakia, I was born in '76. We were born 100,000 kids a year. Now 56,000 a year. We have 3 years in last 40 years where we are in minus. Okay, more people died than were born. So the situation will be just worse. And in China, they have a lot of people, but who is cheaper? India. Okay, so when they have to pay 1,000 euros to a Chinese guy or 300 euros to Indian guy, guess who will win? So also Chinese need to save money, and when we show them, Michal, this is the best thing ever, come to China. Okay, so Twinzo Intelligent Technology Liaoning Limited Company is there, and let's see.
Great, great. Enough about geography, I promise, but thank you that we mentioned also and touched upon this part of the story, and where the recent or most recent innovations are really going, and who is the most innovative in your opinion, and where the competition is going and where also you are trying to place your products and your solutions. Andrej, if you can, yes, you can also mention something about geographical portfolio of Asseco CEIT. However, I have also another questions, and now maybe more technological, let's say, because this whole smart industry sector, and in your understanding is to create a factory where digital, where real and virtual environments are interconnected. This is not my sentence, this is from your presentation. I really like that because interconnection is truly something what is still guiding us through this panel. So these topics are immensely large in logistics automation, in smart logistics, to mention the name of the panel, and there are several systems which take care of navigation. We mentioned that real-time tracking or real-time monitoring, we will touch upon that, control and safety. This is something what I want to mention and when I want to spend next 10-15 minutes regarding what are the most challenges things, or where are the main challenges here, and how do your products, AGVs, all the others, deal with all these significant aspects. So one is the geography, if you want to praise yourself, and then the second thing is interconnection of all various environments in the factory and outside the factory.
Okay, when I have a time to say something about the geographical position of our product, I would like to say something about the Velux Denmark. It was one case what was very interesting because Velux brings to the market innovative product of the window, but window for the big shopping centers, for the really big halls. So these windows, roof windows, are up to 4 meters length. So it's a really huge window, and they bring new material, glass fiber, which are using for this frame of the window to be really able fulfill all the functionality. And this Velux factory said, okay, we have the really innovative product, but our production is really simple. We are using just people with manual moving some tracks from one operation to another operation, and ask us, could you prepare some imagine how Velux production could look like? So we discuss it and we ask them, okay, would you like to go to some classic conveyor system of production? So it's one possibility way. Or is it better for you to prepare some a production line which will have a more modularity, so it will be possible to change it in the future if the product will be changed or it will be necessary to put another processes there. So we go in some analysis in these two different streams, and we looked at when we go to the costs are very comparable. So it was not so big difference. Mm-hmm. But they say, okay, we really doesn't know what will be in the future after 1 to 5 years. Maybe the product will change a little bit or rapidly. So it will be really better if we will go to the really production line which will has modularity. So we prepare some tasks, and we prepare concept where the AGV will be utilized as a production line, flexible production line. So the product will be assembled directly on the AGV, on the specific frame, which will be really complex, that will be take window from 1 meter up to window 4 meter, and with a different length and height, and can really, according to the processes which will be covered by the production, go only through this workstation that is necessary. But then we see that in this factory, one operator have more workstation under the control. So we really go to some real-time location system to really know the position of the operator, to have information about his skills and experience. And when the AGV coming to the workplace, they notified this operator, your product is coming to the workplace 5, please go there because it will be there in few seconds. And during these movements, this gripper put at the level according to the height of the operator. It means we also deals with ergonomical aspect of this production line. So it's really something where we have all the information about the employee, about where are the employee, where are the each product, what processes should be done, and this AGV modular production line can go through these manual workplaces, but also to the automatic production workplaces. So this is really something where we also have under control maintenance people and everything. So this really put high level of efficiency of this production system. Okay, and if we are speaking about some safety and other, because we're starting in the automobile industry, there are big pushing on the safety. So we have many times safety products that another competitors have not such level of safety and can also decrease the cost of this safety tools what is inside of this product. So the safety is really at the high level. And if we are speaking about the navigation, yes, through the years also the navigation systems are changing, and we're starting with magnetic tape navigation. What is sometimes for the new implementations very good because the employees see where the AGV will go because see the magnetic tape and knows, okay, here in this direction will go this AGV. But currently we have also laser navigation and also free contour navigation. It means that we don't need anything in the environment, and the AGV is oriented according to recognizing the environment around. So we have just a digital map, and according to this we can put virtual paths in this map and really use the smart solution to navigate the AGVs as it necessary.
Thank you, Andrej. I think that you already answered the first question. I'm very happy that there are some questions in Slido, and I will read the first one from Peter, who is asking, can you please describe and be quite specific about some real implementation of any of those solutions on site? You already mentioned Velux in Denmark, I believe very specifically. So this question for Martin, if you can, and then also for Michal.
Yeah, so I will skip the scanners and the robotic brains because we are here to talk mainly about the logistics. So, like I said, the first implementation for us will be Dedoles, the quiet rising star here in Slovakia, mainly dealing with socks, and also Idilia, the grocery, where we will do the automated fulfillment that I mentioned. So yeah, I will be brief here.
Michal, and you towards this question?
I will tell you about two examples. First example is here from Slovakia. Quite big plant, 55,000 square meters. They wanted to save something on the logistics. In the end, they saved zero at the logistics because they discovered that they have the fleet is where it should be, but they were able to avoid micro stoppages in the production. So they found the money somewhere else. And we are talking about 20 minutes daily. Okay? They work 300 days a year times 20. 1 minute cost them internally 1,000 euros. So you have the saving, but it wasn't in the logistics in the end, it was somewhere else. And the second example is logistics itself. Site 35,000 square meters in Czechia. We came there. Okay, guys, we have here 35 forklifts. How much? 35 in 30-something thousand square meters big plant. Are you crazy? In the end, they cut 17. One forklift cost them, including labor, 60,000 euros yearly. 60,000 times 17 is 1 million euros yearly saving. So ROI, that fast.
Immediately. So that's already the second question, right? What are the typical return on investments of such implementation, and what are the customers willing to accept? I think that you can only confirm what Michal already said, that the return on investment is pretty high in this segment and almost instant, right? Yeah, Martin.
If I can add, yes, for us it's a little bit different because it really varies based on the region where we are doing the installation. So yeah, because I have to say it, we are somehow replacing people, but the boring job. So there is definitely something better to do. But if you're replacing the people, you are looking at their labor costs. That's the first thing that you will got into your mind. But there are many costs associated with it. You have to create parking space. You have to create bathrooms. Robots, they don't need a vacation. I'm not saying that people shouldn't have a vacation, but robots in this are easier to maintain, and there are a lot of costs associated. And our business model is, probably a little bit crazy, because we are saying that you are not paying anything as an investment. You will only pay for the peaks that really happens. So we will do the installation. You will have the numbers that will be cheaper than your current labor force. So you will start saving from the day one. It's that easy, because we are that confident that yes, we are better at doing this job than humans are, because robots are faster, etc.
Thank you. I think that the last question, or the most recent, is quite similar. And anonymous guy is asking about whether you can disclose some numbers, for example, the cost savings or error rate in percent. So whoever wants to start regarding the errors or percentage here.
I would start. We have very nice small example with one pilot. We gave them 2 wireless Wi-Fi buttons, 2 tablets. In 3 months was the saving 2,000 man-hours. Okay? Does it need something more?
For me, not. I hope
it's
that
really
also
easy. It's really easy. You just stay there, staring. Are you crazy? 2,000 hours? Yes, they are. Living really in 19th century. Okay.
Martin, yes.
Errors because we are doing the beam picking. So basically, we are navigating the robot to pick an object that we don't know what it's basically. How do they look? How they will be distributed in a bin. But given our expertise from the robotic brain, from the picking part, we have the numbers. So the successful of the picking is 99.7% for some installations. And we are not naive. There will be some errors, because if you are going to the bin, sometimes something can happen, even if you have the collision avoidance and everything. But given the time we have spent on these installations, we know that, okay, you will have to check if the vacuum is at some pressure when you are taking the item, because then you can recognize if the item has fallen off, and you will do a second pick. So it's not about not doing the errors, it's about mitigating the risk and handling the expectations that will basically come along the way. So this is it. So nothing is perfect. Yes, there will be errors. Maybe digital is better in this way, but...
Great. Thank you for that. And when you have a word, I have another question also here prepared for you, because before with Andrej we mentioned safety and monitoring and this stuff. It's kind of similar or interconnected to this error rate, etc. But in your perspective, what are the main challenges towards the future, where it can go further?
Prosiť režiu ešte spustiť to video Photoneo, ak sa dá. It's nicely seen there. So yes, we are facing the same issues with the AGV. So Firstly, we have probably, like I said, been stupid enough and ambitious enough to create the AGV that is fully safety certified using the LiDARs. So, there is no concern about the safety, that's okay for us. But at the same time, we are saying that robots are so much faster. So we would prefer not to mix robots and people in the same environment. And the only reason is because we want to be so effective, these robots, their speed is 2 meters per second. So, being a human there would just slow them down because the robot will need to slow down, then stop, etc. Mm-hmm. So yes, they are fully safety certified. So, I don't see where else could it go. They could be collaborative, but it was a big boom with collaborative robots, also the rounds being collaborative, but everything is slower, and we are somehow obsessed with the efficiency. So yes, we could build more of a collaborative solution, but it will be slower, causing lower pick rates, higher costs for the customer, and we don't want to do that. So there are two ways, being very safe and being very fast, and there is something in the middle that you can do.
Thank you. Good. I have also one or two questions for Michal, because I mentioned artificial intelligence and Internet of Things. We already mentioned as well, and they play a significant role in your applications too. And you personally are a passionate evangelist and, let's say, visionary in these topics. And so please try to explain to us all, and not only to me, how do you utilize these technologies in the calling systems or in the navigation, monitoring and tracking solutions of your company? If it's possible. I mean, I understand that it's technically tough, but I can imagine that you can make it.
It must be very quick pitch. So in a typical plant, everything is planned in cycles. So, okay, I have to have there that many pieces on something, some material, but nobody knows, so the takt time doesn't fit the expectation, the simulation or something, so they need to have there just a simple button or a sensor. When you consume the material, you take the empty box, it sends the order to the warehouse, please prepare another box with additional material. Because when we are talking about new plants, new warehouses, like you have this amazing example, it's a new site. But you have brownfields, and you can't close the plant because, okay, we will not produce something, refrigerators, for coming 2 years because we are building a new plant, sorry. Okay, so that's the issue, and you have to use technologies accordingly to the financial situation, ROI, the technological level, the building, is it old, is it brownfield, greenfield, whatever it is, and to choose the right technology wiser. And the AI will bring us, slowly but surely brings us already results like to recognize a pattern in behavior of a system or people or the whole agenda for human beings is very complicated. But for AI, it's much easier because it's much faster. And it recognizes patterns in places where we don't see any pattern, we see just chaos. But the AI says, okay, this is a pattern. Aha, cool. And when you use it, you are able to find quality issue or something like that, because salaries were paid off on Friday, now is Monday. What did these guys do all the weekend? And then you have the issue, because just these two guys are alcoholics. And you just need to check them if they are okay or not. And with people, it's quite complicated, but AI can tell you, you may expect issues on this production line because a combination of factors says that there is a risk.
I think there is another question prepared for you here, because I also know the portfolio, let's say, very well, and you pay the close attention to health and safety measures and the whole compliance in here. And it was last year because of COVID or before. Explain to us, please, when you came up your solution, which is monitoring or scanning the helmet wearing and also the social distancing between co-workers in the real time. So please describe how did you approach this, because this is something what you're right now touched upon using AI, and whether you still feel increased demand from the clients, or it was only a hype last year because of social distancing was everywhere.
Social distancing was super hot topic, but as we can see also here, in reality it makes not that much sense. But to check it from the safety point of view and security point of view is very important, because, and that's why the digital twin has to be realistic also when we talk about the shape of the site, because imagine that you are a security guy going somewhere, but you were never ever at that place. You are going there for the first time, and you need information systems, you need cameras, you need AI to recognize, there are two people, there should be just one or three or something. You need AI because you don't have time to check all the time the monitor and just stare, okay. No, but the AI gives you a notification, you have an issue there, and in the digital twin you can see how the site looks like. Okay, I know what to expect.
So you know in the real time, or you or the manager knows in real time whether the coworker is in a right social distance with another coworker, whether he has a helmet, whether he has a face mask, etc. Right?
Think more about, not about the social distancing, because it's quite hard to achieve. It's not realistic, but how many people are there? Are they doing something, or are they not? Because we are talking about dangerous environments. So we are not talking about office premises or something like that, but we are talking about dangerous environments in robotic cells, in chemistry, and you want to know what's going on with your people. So there is a good use case. It's not bossing or something like that. That wouldn't work.
Great, thank you, Andrej. I have also one other question also towards product portfolio of Asseco CEIT, because from my recent experience in one Slovak company, industrial ergonomics and workplace design is one of the issues that the employers and plant managers start to deal and want still more and more. So could you please explain how did you approach this, and again, whether you feel some increasing demand in this issue, or it is something like a secondary or tertiary in your portfolio and something nice to have?
In the last year, many companies wouldn't like to pay anything for ergonomy because they don't see the money behind this. Mm-hmm. But the legislation is changing last years, and also the people is changing. People would like to better condition on the workplaces, and if they have some healthy problem and permanent healthy problem, they ask for the cost refused for this from these companies. So currently, many companies are looking for these ergonomical solutions and looking not only reactive after some accident or some problems on some workplace, but they are still more and more looking proactive, and during the designing new workplaces, new production lines are looking to be all these workplaces being designed in the way to fulfill all the legislation. Not only EU legislation, but also Slovak, because there are differences between EU legislation, Slovak legislations. So if you would really have people which will not have healthy problem in the future and bring you additional costs because you have to pay some refunds, it's better really to look and be sure that before you implement new production line or workplaces, these are really designed according all these ergonomical aspects.
Thank you. And I will make this question broader because correctly you mentioned the legislation. Yesterday here I spoke with one lawyer speaking about new legislation here in Slovakia regarding cybersecurity, for example. And there are also other issues which countries and governments and the parliaments somehow want to make it somehow compliant with the necessities of the market, right? And I know that this is tricky question because we already mentioned on how many markets you are placing your products. But when we speak about European Union, let's say as our space of living, or Slovakia, do you see from, let's say, perspective of government that it is only following the trend, or, for example, European Union wants to put some effort and make some extra effort to create a framework for this, let's say, in this safety environment, or in cybersecurity, or even in this, I mean, in the ergonomics question. Martin, you are thinking of it.
I honestly have to say I don't know. You know, for us, mainly what we are concerned about is the safety in a given site. So all the safety measures, for example, a good example is if you need to build a mezzanine, so second layer of the warehouse, there are very, very strict rules how it has to be, that, you know, because we need it to be basically drivable by our AMR, so we need to somehow make their pavement or something like that. So this is again putting another pressure for the safety mechanisms of sprinklers, and, you know, there is a lot of a hassle in it in this way. But answering the question, if there is some you know, common and general way how it goes, I don't know really. We are really deep dived in that given installation and dealing with the stuff that is happening there.
Michal, you have anything to add, or not really?
Well, as people, sorry, GDPR is not that powerful than people tend to think. So it needs a good business case. It needs your unions to cooperate, because also unions can be on your side. Because when you are, for example, in this case, watching people, not just through cameras, but also they are tagged somehow, it provides the data also for the unions. Okay, so at the beginning, everybody thinks that they will be against it because you are watching the employees, but in the end, they have also a proof. See, they are overloaded. So it brings us from the belief to the data, and data is saying with a clear tongue. It's an easy thing. Here is the data. What are we talking about? Are they overloaded or not? But if European Union will regulate every single small tiny thing, that will be an issue, and it's an issue. But okay, that's life.
Thank you. I mean, unintentionally we moved from smart logistics towards European politics, but it was really not my intention somehow. I just wanted to ask this question, and our time is showing us that this panel is also coming slowly to an end. I would like to ask maybe once again the organizers whether there is another question in Slido or not, not to skip someone. But if not, then I will only thank you very much for your attention. Again, whether you were following us online or here physically, thank you very much for that. Also, many thanks to the organizers, and especially and in particular to my distinguished panelists, one after another. Again, Andrej, Štefánik from Asseco CEIT, Martin Mrva from Photoneo.
Thank you.
And Michal Ukropec from Infotech or Twinzo.
Thank you very much.
Great. I think that all of us will stay here at least for a few more minutes or even hours. You have your stand here. Michal, you, as I mentioned, is another panel, for instance. So thank you once again. Then we all wish you a pleasant stay here in Bratislava and the rest of World of Freight Expo 2021. Thank you.